Hello and welcome to your mat. My name's Tess, if we haven't met yet. I'm a yoga teacher here in Sydney and I love catering to the underwater community. I'm a freediver myself and today we're going to be focusing on the hip flexors, something that freedivers, swimmers, synchro people, many water sport people alike, and runners, frickin' humans. If you are a human, you might use your legs and have tight hip flexors. Office workers, frickin' anyways, we're gonna be getting into it. I'll offer some apnea throughout class. When we are moving the body with full lungs, it's important to be gentle with the tissue, right? It's quite delicate. So if you're moving with full lungs, that's not overly full. That's just a comfortable, maybe about 80% full. When we're moving on empty lungs, that's a passive exhale, just comfortable. You've still got probably about 50% of your lung volume in there, if not more. So with that in mind, let's get started onto our backs. Supta Baddha Konasana. Soles of the feet come together. Actually, lied. Shavasana. Traditional corpse pose. Arms and legs extend out long and lazy. Let the palms be facing the sky. Unless you're feeling like you really need to reserve and turn your energy inward, then you're more than welcome to face them to the ground. And take any micro flex out of the lower spine by moving the fleshy parts of your butt to the ground. And let the shoulder blades gather together, collarbones broaden, which lets more of the back be supported by the ground. And as we settle here, we're settling into so many things, so many layers, right? You've already arrived in the physical layer. You have physically made it onto your mat. You're in the environment that you've chosen to practice in. But mentally, is your mind trying to race, trying to do things, trying to brain like it so often does? Kindly remind it that we're here. The mind and the body are both doing yoga right now. We settle in our breath. We let the rhythm become natural, smooth, tidal breathing in and out. Let the muscles of the face relax. Maybe your tongue is on the roof of your mouth and it could be floppy instead. A little bit more looseness in the cheeks, the jaw, the neck. Maybe into the fingertips and toes too. Where can you release? And slowly start to flutter the fingertips and toes. Arms reach up above head, full body stretch. And then walk fingers and toes both off to right side of mat, Bananasana. Creating a banana-like shape. Curve through side body, or bringing length to left side body by reaching over towards right. Careful not to crunch into right side body. Leave space between the ribs and the hip. Let it breathe. And then walk yourself over. Fingers and toes reach for the top and bottom left corner of the mat, and we rainbow out through right side body. Long line of energy all the way from pinky tips, down shoulder girdle, rib cage, outer hip, knee, into ankle joint and toes. One more breath. Keep it. Rainbow. And then walk up back center. Soles of feet come to ground. We're setting up for bridge pose. Check that your fingers can just barely brush the tips of your heels, planted shoulder width apart. Curl up through the hips. Bridge pose. And remember, the weight here goes into the shoulders, not into the back of the neck. We're not dumping into the top of the spine at all. Squeeze into the glutes. Again, aiming for a bit of a neutral pelvis here. No flex, no tuck. You've got a straight line going from the knees all the way out the shoulder tips. And then release it back down. Figure 4. Right ankle stacks on top of left knee. Bring it up to bridge pose. Right knee draws down towards earth as you press pelvis upwards. And pelvis comes back to ground. We'll turn this into an apnea option if you wish. It's a full breath in and hold. Keep the breath full as you release hips back to the ground. Let the breath out as you lift hips back up. Hold bottom of the breath. As you Uddiyana Bandha, let yourself stretch back down. Release right leg, release the breath hold. And we'll swap it out other side. Left ankle stacks on top of right knee. Send the hips up. Getting first familiar with our figure 4 shape before we add our option for apnea. Let the hips back down. If you'd like to take a deep breath in, fill the lungs gently and hold. Keep the breath in as hips deliver back down to ground. Air lets out as hips come back up, bottom of your breath. Hold lungs on empty. Reach tailbone back towards earth. Feel the stretch in your diaphragm. And then let the breath in, let the breath go. Seaweed out through left leg. Roll out the ankle. And now both legs to the sky. We're going towards a seated Baddha Konasana. Maybe rock up. Let the momentum carry you. Soles of feet together, knees splay out to side. Get tall here in your seat first. Maybe that looks like moving the meat away from your sit bones to let the spine get nice and tall. Hands reach up high. Left palm catches right knee for the spinal twist. You can use the left fingers as a kickstand. Gaze over top of right shoulder. Let yourself unravel through center. Then right hand catches left knee, left fingertips press for the kickstand. Crown of head reaches tall into the space above. Really grow through the lower spine and twist through the mid. Let your shoulder and your gaze twist you 1 millimeter more. And again, apnea option here in the center. Breathe nice and high. Let the breath out as you twist. Gentle. In breath through center. And exhale out into the twist. When you reach the bottom of your breath, hold the twist. And in through center, breathe up. We'll flow back and forth here. Again, we're not going for max breath holds during yoga. What we're going for is a gentle wake up to the diaphragm. This muscle that is usually on autopilot. We're saying, hey, I got a little bit of ability to control you. It's just like a muscle that you gotta flex, right? So, one more on left side. Exhale, reach bottom. And then back center. Plant the hands beneath the shoulders. Reverse tabletop. Hips come high. Neck is long, extending in line with spine. Hips come down to ground. And we'll change this into a figure 4 scenario. So, right ankle stacks on top of left knee, bridge high for figure 4. Let hips down And then carry into the twist, right sole of foot to plant, and come back. Hips high, figure four table, hips down, and into the twist. 2 more cycles like that. Let the hips come high. Pressing through all 4 corners of the palm to stay lifted. Gentle twist. 1 more, maybe an adjust of the wrists. Sole reaches for a twist and come out. Easy seat. Shaky shake. A little bit of activation for the wrists. We are always standing on our feet. We're not often standing on our hands, so that can sometimes feel like a lot for the wrists. Flop them out, give them a 1-2, and we'll carry into the second side. Reverse table. This time with left ankle stacked on top of right knee. And deliver hips down. Left foot reaches for the gentle twist. Rock back to center. Send the energy up to the sky. And let the earth pull you back down. Knee rocks you into a twist. Feel it down the outside of the left hip maybe. And then hips reach up again. Hips melt back down. Drip left sole of foot over. 1 more round. Let the hips reach towards the space above. And magnet back down to the ground. Gentle twist and release. Let it out. Next place we'll meet is straight into Anjaneyasana, low crescent lunge with the right leg forward. So right knee bent, left knee back and connected with the ground or pillow, a prop, wherever. It's okay to let the knee go over 90 degrees here. The main thing is listen to your body. You got 2 360-degree joints happening here. Where does it feel good to sink down? Where's the point of tension? We'll crawl ourselves over for Skandasana on the right side, either low or high. Side lunge. Let the right knee and right palm plant. Knee wild thing. Rainbow up and through the hips, left fingers are reaching over top. Sweep left fingertips around. Ardha Hanumanasana, half split. Keep a gentle bend in the back of knee, a micro bend, so that you're not hyper flexing through. Gain height in the spine and hinge yourself forward. Left sole of foot plants, Anjaneyasana. We've made it to the other side. Again, letting the hips really sink down and be heavy. We got lots of ligaments and muscles and stuff that likes to be loosened up down here. Pivoting on the back foot so that right toes point towards the sky. Side lunge. And this time we're heading towards a knee wild thing on the left. So left hand, left knee plant. Right arm sweeps up and over. Give into the back bend. Reach the fingertips, create length all the way down right side body. Then sweep fingertips around. Heart pulls over top. Right leg. Toes pulling towards face. Step it back, tabletop. Now we'll move through apnea, cat-cow. Option to go for regular cat-cow if that's sounding better to you. If you want to add some apnea to your cat-cow, that looks like in breath, drop the belly, fill up. Keep the breath full as you ripple. Just let the movement ripple through your spine like a wave until you need to let the breath out, first urge to breathe. And then catch yourself on bottom. Let the spine ripples continue. So I suppose maybe less of a cat-cow and more of an ocean's nod at it. Letting the spine become a ripple, a wave, catching yourself at the top of your breath and holding only until that very first urge that it's time to breathe. And let yourself. And catch yourself on empty and do the same. And crawl yourself forward. Cobra pose. Belly grounds. And hands are more for show and for balance than they are for getting deeper into the pose. So you could lift them off the ground, and the back bend is coming from the strength in your spine, all the muscles surrounding your spine. Urdhva Mukha, press onto tops of feet, quads lift from ground, and shift over tops of toes, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Deep bend into the knees. We'll meet at top of mat, forward fold. Fingertips press, half lift. Exhale, let it out. Keep the lungs empty, palms pressed to shins, Uddiyana Bandha. Suction yourself all the way high. In breath, cactus out the arms. Reach up, Tadasana, mountain pose. Moment to collect yourself here, to reconnect with why the heck you're here. To give appreciation and gratitude to those that paved the yoga path before us and that cared for the land before us too, right? There's been so many people here before us. And today, as I practice on Gadigal land, I send my heart space and appreciation to them. And they're leaders of the past, the present, and the future. Arms sweep high. Hands come heart center. Sweep it back, chair pose, Utkatasana. Shift the weight into left foot balance. Barely lift right foot off. And back. Switch the foot. Lift left foot off 1 inch. So marching chair pose. Practice shifting the balance from one 4 corners of the feet to the other 4 corners of the other foot. And how central can you stay? How strong does your core need to be to keep you stable? Ripple high. Figure 4 chair pose. Right ankle delivers on top of left knee. You can definitely have hands come to right leg for balance. That's more than allowed. Really tuck into the pelvis and then flex. Notice how changing the angle of your pelvis subsequently changes the angle of the stretch on your hip. And as we unravel, step right foot off the edge of left side of mat, like a twisted lunge of sorts. Right fingers reach high. And then come center, same side, right ankle stacks on top of left, and we're lowering ourselves all the way down to the ground. And go for Agni-Stambhasana, fire log pose. So that looks like the shins stacking evenly on top of each other, parallel. Very well, might need a block, a bolster, or a couple fists, something to fill the space between ankle and knee. Eventually, over time, and by time I mean years, your fascia starts to remember and you can loosen into the stretch. And keep the spine tall as you hinge yourself slightly forward. Maybe elbows press into the bottom of right foot and knee. Let it all out. Reverse plank. Fingertips point out to side. Raise into the hips. Let yourself come down and over, meeting in a chair pose, Ucchino. March it out, shift weight slightly towards right and then left. Picking up the feet just ever so slightly. I'm talking a couple centimeters, maybe an inch. Stay strong and engaged into the core and broad through the collarbones. And this time, left ankle delivers on top of right knee. Figure 4 stretch. First, find the balance, root down through the 4 corners of right foot. Maybe your hands come to ankle and knee of the left leg for some stability. Start by tucking the pelvis, really rounding out through the lower back as much as you can. Press left knee away from you towards ground, and then flex. Keep the same tension in the press away from you. Woo. And notice the way that when you tilt the pelvis in different directions, you can floss yourself through the flex and through the tuck, and pause in any particular spot that feels like it needs it. And to release, let left toes sweep around and out off the side of mat. Fingertips reach up and over. We've got a twisted line of energy coming down our body. Come back center, same side. Left ankle delivers on top of right knee. We're going all the way down to the ground with or without the help of our hands. Fire log pose. Let the shins stack. Let the ankle bones find a comfortable place to rest in the knee. And maybe today it looks like finding a prop to fill the space between your ankle and your knee. Maybe it looks like left palm presses on top of left knee to close that gap. Maybe it looks like elbows go to the top leg. Stay tall on the spine as you hinge and drip yourself forward. And 2 cycles of breath here. And then let yourself unravel, reverse plank. Ooh. Press into the heels and into the palms. Raise the hips, one straight, strong line. And then hips come back down to ground. Whew. Come into stag leg. So you've got the left knee bent, heel behind you, and the right knee is kind of jutting out, bending in front of you. You know, doot, doot. Like that. And we'll twist into it. So Right fingertips act as a kickstand, left hand on top of right knee for the twist. And as you unravel, let both knees simply windshield wiper them to the other side, and you'll find yourself stag-legged on the other side. This time your left fingers are your kickstand, right palm to left knee. Yeah, that sounds about right. And maybe you feel this as a nice twist in your spine, or maybe it's getting somewhere into the hip flexor psoas area of the bottom leg, the one that's going up behind you. We'll do one more on each side. Option to do it on a bottom hold, so letting the breath out as you travel through, and the twist. When you need to breathe, the knees swivel to the other side. In breath, and then let it out as you deepen into your twist. And come back center. We'll send the legs out heavy, settling into Shavasana. And if you'd like to take any other shapes before this, you are so welcome to go there. Let yourself rest and melt into the ground. Notice, do you feel heavy? Maybe that extra blood flow pumping around your body is having your legs and your arms feel like they're really sinking into the earth. Let any type of breath work, breath pattern, breath restriction go, and return to that beautiful tidal breathing. Belly gently waving up and down, like the ocean lapping the beach, the shore, on a nice glassy day. We've got some of those coming, right? Body scan. Where can you release tension? Start at the crown of the head. It's the goose. I'm not sure if you could hear, but it was nice. Trickle down the crown of your head, the space between the space behind your ears, the space between your eyebrows. Melt it down the sides of your face. Tongue is loose in the mouth. Neck muscles release. Shoulder blades are heavily grounded. Spine like jello ripples down and out. Arms and legs get to be so heavy. The joint spaces holding no tension. Fingertips and toes release any little bits. Flutter it out. And settle into stillness. Settle into self. And we'll have a few rounds of breath here. I'll wake you up, promise. Let your next breath be a little bit deeper. Maybe an open mouth exhale. And flutter into the fingers and toes. Always the invitation to stay in stillness if that's what you would like and that's what your body is calling for. And if you like to end your practice in a seat, that's where we're going. No particular way to get there. Maybe it's a roll off to the side. Maybe it's a rock up and a momentum. And hands first come to heart center. And then thumbs to third eye. Trace the face, pause at the lips. Trace the neck. Palms, heels of the palms land at the sternum. And I hope that through the rest of your day, you're able to carry with you kind thoughts, warm words, and a playful heart. Thank you. Thank you for practicing. And I look forward to seeing you again next time.